Welcome to Rock Solid Productions, where in this episode we are going to show you how to play Japanese import N64 games on your US N64 using the Hyperkin HyperConvert. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Gary here with Rock Solid Productions. Now, before we dive into today's episode, I want to just take a brief second and say thank you for stopping by and checking out what we have going on here today. I really do appreciate it. This is actually something that we've teased in one of our recent YouTube shorts. If you like what you see here, I invite you to check out some of our other videos that we have here on the channel, including a dedicated playlist for Hyperkin and other N64 content here on the channel. And if you really like what you see, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. That way each and every time we come out with new content, you are kept the most informed and up to date. The N64 is a very polarizing system. People love it, people hate it. I want to know, which side of the aisle do you come on? It hasn't necessarily always aged the best depending on some of the games, but there are still amazing classics like this guy behind me, Mario 64, which is an absolute masterpiece. Plus you had amazing wrestling games from WCW, you had Smash Brothers debuted on the system. I know a lot of people don't care for it as much as I do, but Star Wars Shadows of the Empire is another great game on the system. Let me know, what do you think of the N64? Now, I for a long time have really enjoyed collecting import games, regardless of system, because at least here in the US, the Japanese titles are a heck of a lot less expensive than their US counterparts. They were simply more in circulation, which helped keep the price down. For a lot of games like Super Mario 64, you could play it and not worry about the import because there were no language issues to have to tackle. Well, the folks over at Hyperkin have had a 60 to 72 pin adapter so you could play Famicom games on the NES for quite some time. They've recently announced this guy here, the HyperConvert Universal Cartridge Adapter for the Nintendo 64. It is designed to allow you to play out-of-region games in your Nintendo 64. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this out of the box, we're going to see exactly how it gets around that copy protection, show you some of the differences between the US and the Japanese carts, and we might even play a game or two. Let's get started. So here, looking at the box of the HyperConvert, you can see it's a universal cartridge adapter for the N64. On the back, universal compatibility, plays NTSC, NTSC-J, and PAL cartridges. I'm not sure how well PAL will play on a NTSC system. Plug and play, insert your cartridge, and you're ready to play. Sleek design, looks and fits nicely into your console, and then same thing in different languages. And again, just has kind of a sketch of what it does right there. On this side here, you can see it's designed for the N64. Region-free, tested, and easy installation. That's the biggest thing on here, is just how easy this should be to use versus other solutions. So why is something like this even necessary? Let's talk about that for a second here. So here I have my US version of F-Zero X and one of the Takara N64 import games. I think this is a racing game, I forget the title itself. But looking at the back of the cartridges very closely, you can see, besides the language difference, there's a difference in the molding on the back of the cartridges. On the US cartridge, it's got this tab all the way on the outside. On the Japanese one, it's inset more slightly. Why? That's what Nintendo did for region locking. It is physically region locked US versus Japan. So an easy way to get around this, if you have a US system and you want to play an import cartridge, just put the US back on the Japanese cartridge, you're good to go. The screw pattern and everything up here matches up just fine. You can also modify your console like I have done, and I have that linked up in the upper right hand corner. But where that solution requires having specialized tools and opening up your system, the HyperConvert here is strictly plug and play, it looks. I'll grab my X-Acto knife. Bet you Tom and Lacey still have my X-Acto knife, don't you guys? Make sure you check out Gaming Off the Grid. That wasn't even a joke either. I said Gaming Off the Grid instead of Do You Nerd. Handy dandy rusty trusty X-Acto knife. And really it's just a hobby knife. No instructions, just has this play well, thank you for your purchase and support, and where you can follow them on social. I mean, I'm not surprised that there's no manual because it's literally plug and play. So 4 Phillips screws keep everything together. You have your cartridge slot here and your cartridge bay right there. And one thing looking closely into it, you can see there are no tabs here or here. The cartridge will literally just sit flush right in just like that. So the concern, wow, that's a tight grip, holy crap. Tight grip on the cartridge. So there's no concern here anymore about where the location of those tabs are. Just for curiosity's sake, I want to open this thing up. I just want to see what's all going on inside here. I'm assuming it is just a pass-through board. That's really all it needs to be, but you never know. Interesting to see that as I'm unscrewing the top ones, it's actually separating the two halves. I was not expecting that. And since I'm doing this on camera, I know, yes, I have voided my warranty. So yeah, that's all it is a basic pass-through board to go ahead and make the connection for you to the pins on the system. Solder joints and everything look clean-ish. Look at that though, look at that one. Look at that corner solder joint. That is not, eesh. I may hit that if I have any sort of problems, but those look okay. Yeah, that's all it is, just a pass-through. Thankfully this is index, so it can only go back in one way because I forgot. All right, back together. So let's take a look and see how it fits in the system, because it should just go, all right, like that. There we go. Didn't want to go in initially for some reason. That was weird. Now here's F-Zero X. It has a succinct crunch when the cartridge goes into those pins. That's a tight grip. Now what I want to see, can I pull it out? I'm not going to hold this. I'm going to see, can I pull the cartridge out of this without having to hold it in? Nope. That's how tight that grip is. Let's check the Japanese cart. Same thing, pretty distinct crunch sound. And again, pulls out the whole adapter. The alignment is not terrific, and this is an original US system. It's got the tabs on the outside there. So my recommendation for this, as you are removing games, so we'll put that one back in. It does have a bit of a wiggle there. I wish it held the cartridge itself a little bit tighter. So I would hold a thumb on one side and lift it out that way. That is a pretty tight fit. But let's see how it works. What we're going to do is we're going to hook this system up. It does not have the boosted RAM on it. So we're going to hook this up. We're just going to run these through for a moment, see how everything works using our Eon Gaming Super 64. All right, so up first is like a kart racing game, I guess. I've had this for a while. And Takara, they're actually the ones who came up with the transformers between the Diaclone and the microchange lines. Almost feels like a micro machine. Well, this is very slow, but I can hear the engine RPM picking up. And then for those curious, like I mentioned, I am going through the Eon Gaming Super 64. This is an unmodded system. Whoa, what happened there? I'll admit, this is actually the first time I've played this. I've had this for like a year. I'll look up the translation and throw it on screen here in a second. All right, up to third. Oh, you dirty bugger. All right, I'm gonna have to spend some more time with this because this is actually kind of fun. Chrono Q, is that what it's called? I'll pop it up on screen in a second here. But now we're gonna move on to actually the American version of F-Zero X, just to show how you can go quickly from one to the other and you don't have to change parts on your system. Well, it doesn't look as good as my RGB modded N64. F-Zero X still looks really good on this system. Now, and again, this is the American version, and the only reason why I did this is I wanted to show again just how quickly and easily you can go back and forth to, between the American and the Japanese cartridges. Now, unfortunately, I do not have any PAL cartridges to be able to demonstrate and test out. Yeah, overall, I mean, this is working exactly as it should. So one thing I don't like about this version of F-Zero is the fact that if you turn too far, you basically can wipe out. See right there how it he goes sideways, or the ship goes sideways. To the lead. New leader, Captain Falcon. Such a great game. Took the win. We are going to try one last Japanese game. So I know many of you know this character and love this character. This we actually got from Live Action Games and bought off of our good friend Brian Morgan. I have no idea what any of this says, so we're just guessing. Almost looks like Donkey Kong up here. I don't know, but he won't let me pass. But, you know, just another example of the fact that you can play your import N64 games on an American system, no problem with the HyperConvert. Now, it has some issues. It is not perfect, that is for sure, but it is definitely an interesting sort of solution. So let's go ahead, let's wrap it up. So what do I think of the Hyperkin HyperConvert Universal Cartridge Adapter? Well, it has its place, that's for sure. I am a huge fan of importing games. They're just less expensive by and large than what the US counterparts are, and they're games we frankly just didn't get here. This allows you to play import games easily on any N64. No mods required whatsoever. That being said, this isn't an ideal device. I do think that the pins that hold the cartridge in, I shouldn't be able to remove the whole kit and caboodle from a system and have it still have a grip on the cartridge. Is it a death grip? No. But it is definitely a firm grip on your cartridge. And quite honestly, I hope their N64 clone console that they are working on does not hold cartridges this tightly. It's also really expensive for what it is. It's a pass-through adapter. That's it. And it's $25. I paid $25 at Live Action Games for this. And it's functional, it works as advertised. It's not $25 works as advertised though, especially when you can go ahead, if you have any mechanical skill at all, you can pick up the security bit game bits online for a couple bucks, Phillips screwdriver, and you can pick up a 3D printed cartridge port like I did to my system. You can check that out up there and I'll have it linked down below. For less than this cost, and you don't have like the 32X look here where this is sticking out of the system. At $15 to $20 all day long. At $25, you're a little overpriced for what you're doing. At least that's my opinion. I want to know what you think down below in the comments. Now, I know there are people who don't feel confident opening up their systems. This is really to do the mod that I did. Like I say, check out the video. 5 security bits underneath, and I think 3 Phillips screws that hold the cartridge slot in place. This is not a difficult mod to go ahead and do region free. You have a molded component and a pass-through board, and like I say, I didn't think the solder joints were all that great on a couple of the pins either. I have gone through and cleaned them up. I mean, it took 2 seconds to do. But again, let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Now, if you do have any other comments or questions, as always, you can feel free to email me at rocksolidmail@gmail.com. You can send me a message on Twitter at RockSolidStudios. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions and Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK. Now, if you want to pick one of these up, do me a favor, head on over to CastleManiaGames.com. He does carry most of the Hyperkin products over there, and the cool thing is if you use promo code RockSolid10, you save 10% off of most items on the website. This would be one of those. If he does stock them, you would probably save that 10% on, more than likely. Overall, it's a neat device for the casual Nintendo 64 collector who just wants to get a handful of import games. Okay, it's got that plug-and-play convenience, but there are cheaper ways that you can go ahead and achieve the same thing without cutting up the inside of your system. That's the other thing, is you don't have to cut out those tabs. That's been like the way that most people have done this for years, is they just cut out the tabs in the cartridge slot. I don't like that. Go the 3D printed route or go this route. That way you're not destroying any classic hardware. My name is Gary and this has been Rock Solid Productions and our look at the HyperConvert Universal Cartridge Adapter for the N64. I thank you for watching and I hope to see you soon. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like to support the future of Rock Solid Productions, you can do so by visiting our Patreon page at patreon.com/rocksolid. For as little as $1 a month, $12 a year, you'll get early access to all of our video content, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. You can also become a channel member here on YouTube for as little as $1.99 a month, and with that, you get a badge next to your name when you comment or post on the channel, and you are acknowledged whether you are a channel member or a Patreon supporter at the end of each and every one of our videos. You can also support the channel by visiting our Teespring store on screen now, where we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, masks, cell phone cases, and much more. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.